Hello, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. The sun is shining. We've got about an hour until the rain hits and there will be no more lighting. So last time I was telling you about my best books of the year, and now we can talk about the worst. The worst of the worst, the bottom 10 books that I read in 2025 out of the 261 books that I somehow managed to read. These are the ones that were real bummers, and let me say, this was an easy list to create. I actually have more than 10. Not for today. For the purpose of today, I've limited this to 10, but I could probably have a top 20, or I guess bottom 20, of the worst books. Like, I had some bad flops. Like, usually, okay, the sun is too much. But this year, I had some pretty bad flops. I'm not sure what it was about this year that I just picked up some bad books. Usually, I have a hard time giving books 1 or 2 stars because I'm generous like that. But this year, I handed some out and I did not feel bad at all. So in my number 10 position, we have The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. This was disappointing. I went into this expecting a fun fairy tale mystery thriller of some sorts, and this was so much darker than I was expecting it to be, in a not positive way. Because I can read dark books. I don't mind dark books. I don't think that dark books don't have a place in this world. I pick up a lot. But this one, for some reason, did not work for me. I was appalled by how much I hated this. When you go into this expecting, like, how it is pitched, a Narnia, but kind of for adults, fae story, it sounds so much more intriguing than it was. And I have a friend who loves this book and it is one of their favorites. So I don't want to dissuade anyone from reading this. This is kind of why it's my 10th spot, where it so super did not work for me. But I acknowledge that the writing wasn't bad, and I just hated everything else about this. Like, I hated the characters, I hated the plot, I hated the twists. I did not like anything in this. Everything just made me feel kind of icky when reading it. I just didn't have a good time whatsoever, and I do read for the most part for enjoyment or to like get something out of it, and this just did nothing for me, and I was just disappointed and annoyed and not into it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So that's why The Lost Story is my number 10. And then we have Chlorine. This is written by Jade Song, I believe. I read this for Battle of the Booktubers, and it's not a bad book. I honestly am kind of in the minority of not liking this one. I think there's just something about the coming of age horror that can really work for me at times, and other times just be a total miss. There was something about this that I think if I was younger reading it, it might have hit harder, but I was disgusted in a not fun way. Usually when I read gross horror, I'm like all for it. I'm like, yeah, give me the disturbing imagery, like I want to see it. It's all about a girl who is going through a lot of coming of age, not fun stuff that is very relatable and quite sad, but also longs to be a mermaid. I never had a mermaid phase growing up. I was a huge swimmer. My family really likes the water, but I was not a mermaid girl, really. So I didn't really relate to that aspect of it, but I don't know. It's so hard because, like, I think it was just the depiction of the coming of age that really icked me out, and I don't think that's a fault of the book. I think that's, like, it was true girlhood. I could relate to so much of it. It's not a bad book. I think it's well written. There's something about it that did not work for me that I just, like, could not get into. I could not connect to the character very much, but that's not something I need in a book. But it does help if I like the character a little bit. I don't know. It's so weird that this one didn't work for me, because I feel like it should have. But for some reason, I was just like, no, not this one. I don't want this one. I did not enjoy my reading experience. I am so glad that this is a short book so that I could read it quicker and I didn't have to spend, like, many hours with it, because then I think it probably would have been hell for me. But, 3 to 4 hours with a bad time, it's like, I can move on from it, it'll be okay. But it just disturbed me in ways that I didn't want to be disturbed. And maybe it was the time that I read it. Maybe it was just the things written into the book that it just I couldn't stomach the same way. I don't know why this one specifically. In a weird way, it was a little bit more triggering to me than I was expecting it to be, but also, like, just disturbing. But also, like, that's what you're looking for in a horror book. I think a lot of people really enjoyed this, and I think it could work for a lot of people. I, again, am in the minority of, like, not liking this book. When I look at the Goodreads, all of my friends have given it very strong 4 and 5 star ratings, so, like, it is very much me problem. But it is interesting because last year I didn't like The Eyes Are the Best Part, and now it's Chlorine, so there's just something about the genre that sometimes it really doesn't work for me, but, like, What Hunger I didn't like. So I don't know. I can't decipher, like, what specifically it is about each of these books that, like, make it so I do or don't like them, but I would love to figure that out at some point, because I just would like to avoid them in the future, I think. Next we have one of the prettiest special editions that I got this year. This is The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. I know, I'm sorry, I did not like this one. I read this before I read Air Awakened, so I had like no concept of any similarities really then. I despised my reading experience with this book. I had listened to the audiobook and physically read along with the Kindle version. It was so bad. This is such a gorgeous copy, so I am happy to have, like, you know, a trophy on my shelf of something that was just so bad. I'm not saying that I won't continue in the series, which I think is why it's kind of lower on this list, but I also won't be, like, chomping at the bits to get into the next book. Like, I'm not going to request an arc for it. I'm not going to be jumping through hoops to read it. If I even get to it in the year that it comes out, will be baffling enough, because let's just start with the fact that this girl's name is Raya Fleetwood, because the author likes Fleetwood Mac. I just, oh, this book is so cringe. And I don't want to like hate on it too hard, because I know a lot of people actually really like this book and really enjoy it, and I don't want to like make anyone feel bad because we have different opinions. Again, you can have your opinions, you are valid for them, we can have different tastes, and it's all okay. I am not judging you because you like this book. It just made me, it gave me the ick. It gave me a lot of icks. On paper, this is the perfect book for me. It's got prophecies, it's got elemental magic, it's got a love triangle, it's got some world building. It is definitely romance first. And when I pick up romantasy, I do want a more balanced plot and romance in mind. I obviously want the romance to be important. I obviously want the characters to be trying to come together as much as they can and think about each other and like have a lot of banter and fun times together. But I need more plot. I need it to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more original. This was not any of those things. I hated our main character so much. She was so stupid. She was so dumb. And I was just like, girl, what decisions are you making and why? I don't understand her. I did not like either of the love interests. It felt very, I don't even know how to properly explain this. It just didn't set anything up in a compelling way. I fear the sun has left and the clouds are out, so the lighting is gonna get worse from here. I'm sorry. But like I was saying with this, I'm not normally the type of person to pick up on like continuity errors, but the writing was really not good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was not good writing. There was one point where she was like telling the audience, like she was like, I'm closing my eyes, but then also was saying that they were staring at each other at the exact same time. I'm like, that simply is not possible. There was just a lot of moments like that where she's telling me one thing, but I'm seeing the complete opposite. Like, she's telling me that she hates these men, and I'm seeing the complete opposite. It is insta-trust. It is absolutely head over heels for each other so fast for no reason. And it was just so many moments like that where it was just her being like, oh, we're fighting all the time, but every conversation we've seen, it's not at all a fight. It was just so many moments like that that I was just like, you're lying to me. I don't like it. I don't want a character that's so flip-floppy, that doesn't have true motivations that make sense to me. That kind of stuff really irks me. And this one was like the prime example of just like something I could not handle. But it's okay. A lot of people are enjoying this. I just don't necessarily recommend this one. Out of all the romantasy books that I pick up, yeah, this is definitely one of my least favorite from this year. This was just a not good experience. I didn't like anything about it. I, again, might continue in the series, but it might become more of a hate read, because again, the premise of like having these prophecies, having these shattered souls that are like being reincarnated and they're always looking for each other, there's something beautiful about that, but the execution of it is just not good. So a shame. The next book we're going to talk about is another romantasy. This is 5 Broken Blades by Mia Corland. The reason this is in like a middle position is because I actually do plan on continuing in the series, because the ending was very well done. The ending made it compelling, made it interesting. It actually, once they set off the heist, the tone of the story had changed so much that I was like, oh, this could actually be better. So depending on how the second book goes, this might be something I continue in, but I do think I'll be unhauling the series because there's no point in keeping it on my shelf. This was a bad experience. When people say that Red Tower puts out bad romantasy books, this is kind of what they're talking about. But with that said, New York best time seller, like, it is a popular book. It sold many copies. People are obsessed with the series. So when I say that it's bad, it is obviously subjective, but also it's bad in the sense that it is a lower quality romantasy, which sounds also bad. I'm trying to be so nice in this video, and maybe I should just stop trying to do that. The issue that I had with this is that we are following 3 different romances throughout the book, and they're all kind of leading and coming together, and eventually there's like a found family version of it where they're all trying to come together to set off this heist against the emperor. And the issue is that it's just so in your face. Each relationship is a different trope, and it does not have anything unique going to it. The characters are kind of bland and not very exciting because, again, it's just like, this is the trope that they fit into. They are in this box, and then you just get to see them obsessed with each other the entire time. They only care about the romances. Like, the plot is so back burner for them. And I'm like, you're about to set off on a heist for the Emperor, the most powerful person in your lives, and you're worried about the romances around you. I couldn't buy into it. I couldn't believe it. All of the relationships felt a little bit forced. It was just like a little bit too many. There was, 5 perspectives? I just didn't need all of it. I thought the reveal at the end paid off. I thought that the heist was interesting in the way that you get to see how it sets up the next book. I was really into the ending because they stopped focusing on the romances. But I think about this much of the book is romance focused, and the rest of it is like plot. Plot that was actually really interesting and action-packed and exciting. The pacing was bad. The motivations and priority were just all out of whack. I just could not get super invested in anything when it came to the story. But again, the ending was exciting enough that I'm like, maybe I will continue on the series, because my friends really like this book and have actually really enjoyed the series as a whole. So I'm like, I might give it a try. But I'm also a gluttony for punishment, so maybe that's also why I'm just like, yeah, I'll continue reading bad books. Why not? It's fun. So who knows? But it is currently not DNF'd on my series tracker. I will try to at least pick up the second one. I do think I'll be unhauling this copy, though, because I just don't see myself ever rereading it. It's not a book that I need a trophy for. It's not, like, that fun of a hate read. It was just, like, annoying. I also read this in a 24-hour readathon, which I mentioned in my favorites video, too, because I was a teenage slasher in the same 24-hour period. Worst book and a favorite. Crazy times. The next book we're talking about is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I hate to say it. I know some people, I think a lot less people, enjoyed this book. I loathed this one. I'm not a big mystery fan. I definitely prefer thriller and horror. And this is definitely mystery first. I would say this is probably my least favorite Riley Sager because I don't even have the most fun memories attached to it. The twist kind of felt cheap and out of place because I was like, how can people be so stupid? I know that it's historical, which is another setting like could be very hit or miss for me. I just didn't like the characters, which I know is kind of the point. They're not meant to be likable because, like, the whole point is that criminals who caused the death of a bunch of people are going on a train to Chicago so the police can pick them up. But then a real murder mystery begins to happen. And although, like, it is twisty and there are reveals, I felt a lot of the reveals just, like, didn't make enough sense for me to buy into it. I know going into books that there's always going to be some level of disbelief. Like, you have to suspend your disbelief to buy into a mystery thriller. Like, an amateur sleuth is gonna get hired by the FBI by the end. Like, you gotta just kind of accept it. Like, I really enjoyed The Naturals. It's a bunch of teens playing FBI. Like, I can do that. I can do that pretty easy. I have no problem changing, like, my logic. I have a whole video about applying the logic to the illogical. I would really appreciate if you went to watch that video because I was actually really proud of it. It just didn't work for me in this book, and I read it because, one, I've read all the Riley Sagers pretty much, except for one, and two, I am a big active participant in the Literally Dead Book Club, and so every, like, summer we read a Riley Sager. With a Vengeance was the latest one, and so of course I picked it up. I didn't have fun, and Kayla enjoyed this because she had fun, so I think I went into it, and I think I was taking it a little bit too serious. But I also don't think that was entirely my fault. I do think it's the narrator's fault. I think the narrator takes the book to be incredibly serious. And so the tone just kind of felt off. And it wasn't like a silly haha time like I think a lot of mystery thrillers can be. I felt it was taken very serious. And there was like a Nazi on board and like all of these deaths were happening and amateur sleuths were going on and nobody could trust anybody and everyone was kind of bad. And I just didn't have fun with it. It just wasn't fun. And that's, like, my biggest complaint. Like, I hate Survive the Night, but I had so much fun with it. It was, like, a fun hate read. I have the fondest memories of it. Middle of the night, boring, kind of bland. I have some really fond memories, though, and I still enjoyed the experience. This one, I didn't even enjoy the experience, and that's what makes it the worst Sager for me, which is so disappointing. I am intrigued by his newest. The vibes seem interesting. He put recently on his Instagram, like, a little carousel of the Pinterest board, if you will, and I do think that it looks interesting. I have no reason to not pick up Riley Sager. I do enjoy his works for the most part, so I'm gonna keep reading him, but this one was a major letdown for me. Next, we've got such a bad book. This is Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. Guys, oh my god. Just go watch Twilight. I have nothing else to say. Like, go watch or read Twilight. This is not worth it. This is so bad. I appreciate what Brittany was trying to do. This is kind of as if Bella, who was supposed to be in college, but there's like a homecoming dance, which feels very high school, so I don't know why that was even, like, it doesn't feel like college whatsoever. It feels like a high school entirely. But it's almost like, what if Bella chose Jacob instead? It's like, okay. I truly did think this was going to be a lot more vampire than it was werewolf, but it's definitely more werewolf. Still are vampires, though. God, it was so boring. The characters were so cringe, so unlikable, so... I hated being with them the entire time. Nothing made sense. There were, like, solid scenes taken just straight out of Twilight put into this. The whole, like, I know what you are. Say it. It's like, why would you put that? Why would you put iconic scenes from Twilight into your book? You know everyone's gonna be like, yeah, that's just Twilight. Like, it ruins the fun. It ruins the camp. I would love more things to be like Twilight. Like, I would love just the stupidity of it all. I think it could be such a fun, you know, modern blast to the past where it's like we get to see a modern version of Twilight. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be great. I would love it. This was not it. This was so far from good. I didn't even think the writing was good. I thought the characters were way too young for being college students. It felt absolutely ridiculous. Very convenient at times. Just not fun. I didn't enjoy my time with this whatsoever. I think this is a stunning edition, which is why I'm maybe so upset about it. It's like, how can we do me so dirty? How can we do one of like my favorite Owl Crate boxes of the year, give me this gorgeous, stunning edition, and then me hate the book? That's unfortunate. I don't know if I'll keep this on my shelves. It's one of those things where it's like fun to laugh at. I did buddy read this with my friend Eliza, and that was a lot of fun, but bad time. I guess if like you really love Twilight and you just want to see somebody else take a swing at exactly that, maybe you would enjoy this. Maybe you should check it out, but like also go into it expecting kind of like a potential hate read. I haven't seen anybody like this. So, I mean, maybe you'll be the one, but I was unfortunately not the audience. I was not meant to read this. I think maybe if I was not such a big Twilight fan and if I was younger, maybe this would have hit harder because I was 13 when I was reading the afterbooks as they were coming out chapter by chapter on Wattpad and Tumblr. So like, I fully thought college was going to be so much more like high school than it was. And so I think maybe if you're in high school, you're not super familiar with Twilight, and you read this, you might be like, wow, that's exactly what college is going to be like. And you'll be maybe more excited about it. But I think for older audiences, I think this is a big skip. Like, don't pick it up. If you do, go through your library. Do not put money into this. I'm so sorry, Brittany. It's not personal. I don't know you. I hope you're probably a lovely person. It's just that this was not a great book. In fourth place, we have my next least favorite book, which is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I really thought I was gonna love this. I love a cannibal book. Like, there's something about cannibalism in a book that really intrigues me, that I find interesting and fun in some way, shape, or form. I typically enjoy the critiques that cannibalism can have on the society and whatnot, but in this case, it didn't work for me. This is really a small, isolated setting of a small, young girl and her mother who don't really talk to people, don't associate. She's definitely an outcast. She doesn't have friends in school, and her mom may or may not be making some decisions that I don't think the average person would be thinking, and they take in a woman who, like, needs a place to stay. I will be totally honest, as I'm, like, trying to recount the synopsis, I don't remember fully all of, like, the details in between. Oh my god, I also read this in my Scallywagathon 24-hour readathon. That video was crazy for the end of the year. Okay, I read this in July, but that's why I don't remember it super well. But I wasn't entertained. I had a really hard time buying into the character, and I understand that when you're writing from a child's perspective, it can be kind of hard to hit the tone the right way to make it feel believable, but I also really struggle with people who have reviewed this and they're like, oh yeah, there's continuity errors because she's young, because like it's through her eyes, and I don't like that. There's like one part where she's like, we live in the forest, like we're very isolated and out of the way. But then also was like, oh yeah, I just saw somebody walking down the street through the front window. I'm like, but you're in the woods. You're not supposed to be near a street. There was just a couple moments like that where I was like, what is going on? So I had a few issues with that. I don't really buy into the, oh, well, it was a child's perspective, so like there can be little mistakes like that because it's through a child's lens and whatever. Like, I don't know about that. But I don't think that this is poorly written. I think the writing was fine. I just think it was a little bit too dry for me, and I was not interested, and nothing really happens until the end. And I'm finding that I'm not in a slow-paced book time of my life. I need something medium to fast. I need things to be happening. I need more action in my books. I do love plot. I am not a character-driven reader. I think you can tell by a lot of the books that are my favorites and my least favorites, I don't really lean towards character-driven stories. I need there to be more going on for me. So I really struggled with, like, nothing happening, and then the end happens, and you're like, that's crazy. And I just couldn't hit hard because I was like, I don't care. When you spend so long, like, you spend hours with these characters, and then nothing really happens until the end, then you're like, well, I can't be invested in the ending. I can't change how I feel just because the ending actually was better than the rest. Like, it just kind of lowered everything for me. So yeah, that was The Lamb. Unfortunately, I did not enjoy this one, but I know a lot of people that did. So I'm not saying don't read it. This is one that I can still recommend to people. It just wasn't for me. Next up, we have Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This was a very disappointing letdown of a thriller. I was so excited for this. I thought it was going to be like my new favorite thing. I like books about authors and writers and editors and whatever. Like, the publishing industry, I find it to be very interesting. I appreciate when authors kind of like peel back the curtain and I can see a little bit more into the publishing industry. I find it fascinating, so I like reading about that in books. This one had such an interesting premise of a new mother who finds out that her husband is actually caught up in a little bit of a bank heist and isn't able to, like, get through to him, and then he kind of just, like, vanishes afterwards, like, gets it done, she sees it on the news, it's a big deal, and then he kind of just vanishes into the wind. And then we get this massive, like, 7-year time jump, and then another time jump, and it really lost me after the first part. I didn't like the way that it was broken up into different pieces. I didn't care after that. Like, we're getting a detective's perspective who's looking for him, and then, of course, the wife who's, like, dealing with the grief of her husband doing something terrible and, like, being responsible for people dying, but is also, like, gone missing, and she's, again, like, a new mother, and so we blip a few years into the future where, like, the kid is like, I understand that my father is gone, but I don't really understand what happened because she's too young. And I don't want to spoil anything, I don't want to give anything away, but basically, the big reveal was so incredibly obvious to me because it's a rather small cast of characters. And so it wasn't, like, the most exciting. There wasn't a lot of thrills. It was kind of just a lot of life simulation, if you will. Like, it was just seeing her live her life and try to find her husband. Is also one of my biggest fucking pet peeves is when you're reading, like, a thriller book and somebody finds, like, a journal, a manuscript, a diary, a whatever, and choose to just not read the whole thing in one sitting, like, immediately. They sit on it, they ponder it, they go, I'll look at it later. Nothing makes me more irrationally angry when I'm reading a book like that. It's like, why would you not look at the thing that was sent to you? Why would you wait? Why wouldn't you just look? Just peek. I don't care. Makes me really mad. It's like one of my I hate it when, like, a book is, like, giving you chapter by chapter, like, here's 2 pages of this journal that we found, and you're getting that throughout the book, and you're just like, why would you not just read the whole thing? Okay, amateur sleuths, whatever. But yeah, I was really let down by this book. I did not have a fun time whatsoever. I hated the pacing of it. I did not care for the reveals of it. It just didn't feel new. Like, it wasn't inventing anything. I was just bored and upset. I was really upset by this. I really thought I was gonna love this. I was so excited for it. It's definitely going in the unhaul pile. I don't even want to look at it after this year. Like, I'm done. I want nothing to do with it. Book number 2 I want to talk about is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I read this because it was the book troop pick for, I want to say, January. Like, I read this so early in the year, and I detested my experience wholeheartedly. I'm, like, surprised. I haven't read Gone Girl. I haven't read Sharp Objects by this author, and I know that those books are, like, better and enjoyed by the masses more. So I'm not saying I'll never pick them up, but I will say Dark Places put such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm like, do I really care to read from this author again? I just didn't have any fun with this book. I did not like the characters. I did not like the reveals. Oh my god, it was so stupid. The way that it all boiled down and, like, the cause of things, so dumb. Made me literally mad. I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. In this, we're following a young woman who's kind of running out of money and decides to talk to, like, a group of college sleuths that like to look into cold cases or just, like, cases in general. And her brother was pinned for, I think, murdering like the whole family except for her. And she's like lived with this her whole life. She's the reason that he got put into jail because she gave a testimony against him. But she was also a small child. So I'd like the conversations of like trauma and memory and like police cases like not doing their justice, like not doing the right type of interview or kind of leading people to say what they want to hear so that they can put somebody away. I really thought this was going to be more interesting, more fun. Like, obviously she's like, oh, maybe I should talk to my brother. I haven't talked to him forever. Like, maybe I should try to rekindle that relationship. But also I'm going to like amateur sleuth and figure out what might have really gone down if it wasn't him. Like, what happened? And I could not care. I hated our main girl. She was very annoying to be in the headspace with. I hated the reveals so much. Like, I wouldn't even say this is like the worst book ever, but the reveals make it so. Like, the reveals made me so mad. I was like, this is so stupid. I really didn't like it. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I just had no fun. I don't know if I'll pick up more from this author. I think I might have Gone Girl on my shelf, so who knows, maybe someday I will end up picking it up, but I have bad taste in my mouth from Dark Places. I did not enjoy this experience whatsoever. I don't know why people enjoy this book. I would love to hear why anyone likes it, because it didn't work for me. The reveal was stupid. It was bad. I didn't like it. And now we can talk about the last book, which I also won't say a lot on because I actually have a full video dedicated to this. I read this for the 150th book of 2025. It was my scavenger hunt benchmark thing where it's like, woo, let's celebrate and read a book together. I was so excited for this. It's been on my shelf for a couple of years. It's this nice special edition from, I believe, Owl Crate. It's like an actually gorgeous copy and edition, and I have not hated a book so much, I think, in my entire life. I think this may be the worst book I've ever read, ever. Like, the worst of the worst of the worst. I detested everything about this. This is not a romantasy. This is so incredibly dark. There's no trigger warnings, so please look them up, because this is not a fun, happy-go-lucky book where you're getting a poly relationship or anything. It is dark, it is toxic, it is evil to its core. Like, one of the characters is objectively like a bad, evil person, and you're in their headspace, and it kind of tries to excuse their behavior and still tries to give them like a redemption arc, but not, because again, they're just bad. I didn't like any of the characters. Everything just felt a little bit forced and really icky. I think the biggest thing about this book is I just felt gross the entire time. I did not like anything from this. Not a single thing did I walk away and go, this is a good time. I know some people like this, so it's not an everybody thing, but like, I just really struggled getting through this. I did not want to pick it up. I did not want to finish it. I was so sad reading it. Like, it just put me in a bad place. I didn't enjoy this. I was reading reviews of people that liked it, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. I will be unhauling this immediately. I don't ever want to think about this book, honestly, ever again. I know it's a series. I'm for sure not going to continue. I'm not putting myself through that. I don't recommend this whatsoever. This is following three guys, Dimitri, Alexei, and another guy, Vasily. And so two of them are exes, because one like did a coup against the family and like became evil edgelord, and the other one is like a coward runaway prince, and then the other is like a spy master. And so all three of them kind of have relationships with each other in some way, shape, or form. It's depressing. It's like war. You've got this like cowardly prince who runs away with his like little found family of people, and truly he's like, life has never been so hard for us, with a full platter of all the foods we could ever want and desire, while literally everybody else in the kingdom is like in starvation. Like, there is no food, there is no resources, because there's an evil edgelord that took over. Okay, complain more about your problems, prince. It was just, so many things just felt so out of touch. Like, I just don't know if this book was like aware of what all it was saying. I think I also went into it with the wrong expectations, thinking that it was going to be a little bit more romantic, a little bit more fantasy, and it was just like depressing war and sadness and experimentations. No good in this whatsoever. No hope. It was just, bad experience, bad time. I regret picking this up. I regret ever reading this. I'm so mad when book boxes send me like these dark books, because they don't warn you. There's no trigger warnings for it. And then this just gets put in the hands of teenagers, because this is, I believe, the Owl Crate young adult. I don't know if their adult existed when I got this. Came out in 24. Okay, it might be. This might be adult. I really can't remember off the top of my head, but I just don't like when book boxes give you very dark, questionable books that like could put people in a bad place. Like, I was depressed reading this. So I do not recommend. I did not have fun with this. This was my least favorite book of the entire world. Over it. I will probably sell my copy to whoever wants it, and I will have every trigger listed ready for whoever wants to get it, because I feel bad putting this on somebody, because it's a shame, but I also, you know, don't believe in getting rid of throwing books away. I don't want to give it to a thrift store because I don't want somebody to accidentally pick it up and then be like traumatized. So yeah, well, those are the worst books. I feel like I didn't have a lot to say about a lot of these books just because I don't have like super strong opinions towards everything. I think the one I have the strongest opinions towards is Wind Weaver, because I think it disappointed me the most out of everything. I was just like hoping for a way better time, especially when like there's a lot of hype around things. I know, like, I could probably name you at least one booktube friend that all of these books got a 5-star from them. Like, I know they're out there. I know people have different opinions, and I love that about us. But at the same time, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for a new year of nothing but wins. I hope to not even have a worst books of 26. I want everything to be so good. So that's my delusional plan. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was nice chatting with you guys about some of my least favorite reads from this year. Let me know if you had a worst read that really stuck out to you, that really just irates you in some way, shape, or form. Would love to hear down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!